I've had this Ioniq 5 2023 limited edition for 4 months, and I've taken it already on 6,000 miles of interstate highway. Is it road trip ready? Are EVs ready? Well, we'll see. Flying from Texas all the way to California to get a car, and then we got to drive back. It's gonna be a pretty good road trip, but probably a good review for the Ioniq 5 2023 model. We'll see how it goes. Gonna be my first new car ever, so I'm kind of excited for that. She isn't. She's petrified. I can't emphasize enough, everybody. This is the face of someone who wants to murder you and puts up with all the bullshit and decides to go with it, but they're really, really not happy with the decision. The ride back was great, you know? Ride back, the road trip was awesome. Yeah. Well, we're on the plane. This is the last time we ever see. Pause. What the hell, guys? I am so sorry. I am taking too long. I never really did a vlog style of like this, and I mean, I'm new to this stuff, so I'm learning. I hope I didn't lose your attention, but if I did, wah! All right, there, you got the attention back. But as I was saying, I flew to California, went from Texas to California, couldn't find this vehicle anywhere near me because in Texas they were doing a 10,000 MSRP markup. Whoopie da da. It was crazy. The limiteds I found, they wanted so much money. So I went to California, found a dealership. They only ended up doing like $1,000 markup, which sucks, but it was better than paying $10,000. And I have family that lives over there. So we got there. We got this digital teal limited all-wheel drive, right? Tested it out. Now I want to go straight into the experience of actually driving this vehicle. EVs are great. I think they're awesome, but they have a huge problem, and in my opinion, it has to do with the charging network and still the amount of time that you spend charging. Now, you're going to see, for example, in this clip where it's my first time, there's a huge learning curve, right? It's my first time charging. I didn't know how to do it. Granted, this is with Electrify America and CCS chargers. Tesla has their own chargers, which is superchargers. And they're plug and play, and it's awesome that they're actually opening up at this point to now everybody else. However, there's still a huge issue when it comes to charging EVs in general, and that's the amount of time that you spend charging the car, which doesn't seem like it's a lot, which it isn't. Like the Ioniq 5, I actually had an amazing experience. You'll see that there in some of these images that I was able to get 80%, like 14 minutes. Sometimes it was 12 minutes, and it was great, right? I had some little issues with the Electrify America, and I think for someone who isn't technologically competent, they're going to have a lot more issues trying to figure out how to get that system to work. I mean, as an example, my first learning curve is I thought I had more range in the vehicle than I actually did, and I went further than needed to, and legit was at 0% battery. It had a power limit, and I was power limited, right? So I was close to calling a towing company to tow us out to the next closest charger, which is a mile away from where we were. And these vehicles actually act the exact same way in this regard as ICE vehicles, where even though they say they're empty, they actually still have some juice left to get you to your destination. I love the Ioniq 5, and I think the driving experience is probably the best I ever had actually with the Ioniq 5. But the issue isn't that, and I'm not going to go into what's so great about the Ioniq 5. There's so many videos out there on YouTube, but I think I want to go into the whole EV market in general. Because so many people come and buy these cars with rose-colored glasses, in my opinion, lenses, whatever you want to say. And they fall in love. They're like, there's no issues. It's great for road trips. I charge in 15 minutes. It's okay if I have to stop. And I disagree. Why? Well, quite simply because you're forced into stopping, right? My experience with winter, and I left in December, we were like at below 40 degrees most of the weather. And I was going about 80 miles per hour. And the highway speed limit, by the way, was 85 miles per hour from California to Texas. I realistically would get on 80% charge about 100 to 140 miles driving range. The reason is because I never wanted to get below 10%, nor did I want to charge my car above 80% because it made no sense. Your charging speed drastically decreases above 80% when you're charging. You're kind of delaying other people from charging. And I'm pretty sure you guys seen the recent Marcus Brownlee video where there's a bunch of people at a Tesla supercharger.
There is another Model 3, an F-150 Lightning, and the Rivian R1T and the Lucid. And this is the thing we're gonna start noticing is when more non-Teslas start to charge, I think the etiquette is gonna have to be, you have to ask someone to move over.
You don't want to take up a spot when you don't need to. So you're stopping every 50 to 100 miles just to top off on your electric vehicle when you're doing a road trip. Now that's not a big deal overall, especially if you're drinking water. Maybe you want to stretch out. Sure, whatever. That's fine. I did that. Overall, I didn't really have a huge gripe about it, but my issue ends up being that if you're someone who wants to get from destination A to B as quickly as possible, you can't. You are forced into this decision of stopping every hour on the hour, essentially. And now some people will probably tell me, well, you should drive slower, go 65 miles per hour, get that extra range, right? Maybe you don't have to stop every hour. Maybe you stop every hour and a half, maybe 2 hours because you're not driving as fast. Well, the problem with that ends up being because you're driving slower, you don't really save time. I never did the calculation, but I doubt as someone who's going 65 miles per hour compared to someone going 80 miles per hour, which is a 15-mile difference, 15-mile difference in 1 hour, right? You have to make up that gap, and you're making up that gap in some form or fashion. And whether that be now you have to go to a charger earlier or you don't, you go to a charger later, but you are going slow and you're getting to the destination slower. So I think my biggest gripe, like I said, I think the Ioniq 5 was a great vehicle. EVs are awesome. Love them for city driving. And I just want to do this as concise as possible, like I said. But road trips, I think they're there if you're okay with stopping. You can do a road trip and comfortably well, at least from California to Texas like I did, and it works out perfectly fine. But if you're trying to get fast to a destination, I feel and you don't want to take too many stops and you guys just want to keep rotating out, it's just too slow in comparison to a gas vehicle. Because remember, you have to pull over the road actually and pull off the highway, whatever it is, and charge up. Same with a gas vehicle, right? I'm not saying you don't, but you would have to do it less if you don't want to. But just taking into account, let's say 20 minutes, and that's being optimistic about the total amount of time you spent. In 15 hours, you're spending an extra you're spending a total of 5 hours pulling over, going to a charge station, charging. Maybe in terms of compared to a gas, you could take away 3 hours from that. You're still spending an extra 2 hours compared to a gas vehicle at stations. And that was my final reasoning behind EVs on road trips. So what do I overall think about EVs on road trips besides the fact that they're bug magnets because of their aerodynamic and usually tend to be low to the ground? Well, they're really not that bad. Like, honestly speaking, when you think about it, you're stopping an hour and a half, like I said, and I had to pee every hour. You get in that nice little break, that rest period, especially when you have quick charging. Like I said, it took me like 15 minutes to charge this car at 80%. It was pretty okay. I was able to drive a long time. Didn't slept like 8 hours my whole trip. Made it to California in like 30 hours, which is like nonstop is 20 hours. That's pretty good overall, like considering. So yeah, EVs are getting there. They're not quite gas vehicles, but they're getting there. And trust me, I think they ride a little bit better. And this is from someone who's ridden a gas vehicle for 31 years of their life. I'm 32 now, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, comment. You know what it is. Sorry it took so long. Not really. I mean, you guys enjoyed it, right? Right. All right. Bye. Go. Shoot. Bye. Get away from me. Go.